Welcome to another episode of Message from Mom, where we're busting the myth that mothers-in-law don't get along with their daughters-in-law. And it's January, ladies, so we're talking about all things renew, refresh, reset, and it's always a really great time to talk about trends. And many of you do know that I have a fashion blog, and Chelsea and Kelly, my lovely co-hosts that I will introduce in a moment, happen to work at Sell at a Certain Age too. So since it's January, it's time to look at what is on deck for 2025. So we're going to take a look at fashion trends today, which I'm really excited about. So it's kind of our mothership.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of, the malls.
It is.
Well, I don't know. Do we have malls anymore? We have the outdoor malls.
Yeah.
But
Which are better anyway.
Yeah. And fashion brands. And I mean, all of that. That really is my mothership. It has been my whole life. And I will introduce my lovely co-host who happen to be my daughters-in-law. So I have Kelly to the right of me.
Hi, I'm Kelly. I'm married to Beth's oldest, Alex.
And Chelsea's to the left of me.
Hi, I'm Chelsea. I'm married to Beth's middle son, Andrew.
Yes. And since this is an intergenerational podcast, and I have my lovely daughters-in-law that work alongside me at Sell at a Certain Age, but my monologue today, because we are talking about fashion trends and it goes back to fashion. So my mom and I had a love of fashion. Actually, I have to give my mom all the credit. That's where my love of fashion comes from, is my mom. So, and we would go off shopping on any given Saturday and just, make it a girls' day out from the time I was like 6 years old, shopping for Easter outfits all the way up until her death. And it was just a great bonding experience. And I learned so much from her. And one of the things that she used to say back in the day, I don't think it really holds true these days, but she was always like, okay, sweetie, if you live long enough, you're going to see a fashion trend come back into vogue. So back then, that's how long it took for fashion trends to cycle through, because she distinctly said that if you live long enough, you will see fashion trends recycle. But now it's like in a nanosecond. It used to be, actually, I was reading an article that said fashion trends used to come into a cyclical pattern like every 20 years. But I think now it's like, as I said, like a nanosecond. But thanks, Mom, for giving me my love of fashion. And actually, I have this really cute story I always like to share with my dad, because my dad saw that I was going to follow in my mother's footsteps. So she was really the traditional wife that would come. She would go shopping and then, like hide all of her packages. Like, like my dad never paid the bills. That was the hilarious thing.
Like my mom used to do.
Yeah. That's what she would do.
Yeah.
Oh, this whole thing? She'd be like, Jack, this whole thing? And, like my dad was never.
I try to do that with Andrew, and he always knows.
Yeah.
They pay the bills. I'm sorry. My dad paid all the bills.
Well,
my mom did not work.
Own clothing bills, but
there you go.
Well, he knows though. I'll wear it doesn't matter what. He'll go, oh, is that new?
Huh?
Can't hide anything from the man.
No. And I never tried to hide anything from Mac. He was always a good sport.
Yeah.
He never ever gave me a hard time when my Talbot's bill went up or anything like that. But my mom, was always trying to fool my dad. So my story about my dad was, so he was an investment banker. So he wanted me to understand what the cost of clothes really were. So he really sat me down. He's like, okay. He's like, I see you're, cut from the same cloth as your mother. So here's the skinny. I want you to prorate your clothes out. So I basically had to go through this exercise, which actually was really good for me at the time, because it really did open my eyes up to, yes, clothes do have a cost, but they have perhaps a better value, like the more expensive or more timeless or classic an item that you purchase, the longer that it's going to live in your closet. So therefore the overall cost is much lower. So anyway, so he taught me that value math, and it was so cute. He really
understood girl math.
Girl math.
That's what it is.
Girl math. Well, anyway.
If I buy this $300 jacket, but I wear it every day over the winter, then it actually divides out into this amount.
Exactly. Well, my dad actually, that was boy math too, and that was my dad's way of really, trying to just teach me the value of clothes and and the value of building your wardrobe. But we are going to talk about trends because I do think trends are really important. So if you do go check out Style at a Certain Age, it really is a blog about timeless classic fashion. But one of the things that I always talk about is how important trends are. And I do like to see, I do like to tune in, even though they change I mean, as I said, in a nanosecond. So we're just going to take a look at what's on deck for a 2025. And we do have a foundational piece. And so what is that foundational piece? Okay. So we have Glamour, 2025 fashion trends. We have BuzzFeed and we have Refinery 29. So we have 3 foundational pieces. And those of you watching over on YouTube, we link everything down below in the description box so you can take a look at what these entities are talking about. So, but we'll just dice and slice them. So, one of the things that I was conscious of was the resurgence of 90s and the early aughts fashion, which some people really hate and some people might love. I mean, you were still pretty young in 2000. You were what? How old were you? 15?
Like early 2000, I would have been, what, 11?
Okay, so
Is that right?
yeah, so quite. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm 89,
Okay, you were in 89.
Born in 89.
11 or 12.
Yeah, that would be about right.
Yeah.
So Kelly, so how old would you have been?
Maybe 12.
2000?
Yeah.
I was 23.
So you were probably really very tuned into what was trending at that time. I mean, I remember, and I really loved that era for some reason. I don't know why, but I really liked a lot of the items that I was wearing. That was actually when we had just moved overseas. And so I really was really honed into because I had to do all of my shopping when we came home.
Right.
Because I lived over in Asia for close to 10 years. And if ever I felt like an Amazon woman, that was the decade because I'm 5'8", size
You have to
8.
shop at the big and tall store.
They didn't even have that. I had everything was custom made, but I mean, I towered over everybody. I was blonde. It was, I have some boobs. I'll never forget. So here's a funny story too. I'm really going off topic, but I would get this all the time. I mean, I'm not like my boobs aren't like terribly big, but I mean, I'm a 36C. I probably was a 34C at the time. But anyway, they would actually come and look at me, and maybe it was because their heads were hitting my chest, but they were like, "Where did you get those? Where did I get my boobs?" Well, God gave those to me. But I mean, Asians are so tiny. I mean, they're tinier than you, Kelly.
Oh man,
It's hard to believe.
That's funny.
Hard to believe, but they were just so tiny. Yeah, and I just towered over everybody. But anyway, so back to trends. I digress. So I would have to do all of my shopping when we came home because I would either have to have custom made clothes or I would not have anything to wear. So that's actually, I will share, that's when I got really, really smart or smarter about shopping because I knew that I had to have things on hand.
Right.
And because I couldn't just, run off, off to the mall and purchase.
Whenever you needed something. Yeah.
And Mac had a very, social job. He was in hospitality. So there are a lot of functions that we had to go to. So that really was, I think it really set me up for success with Style at a Certain Age.
Yeah.
But there again, I was very tuned into what was, trending, and I really liked what was going on in the early aughts and even in the late 90s as well. But let's take a look at well, let me just ask you. So you were too young, Chelsea, for that trend the first time.
I was trying to think. Yeah, the grunge, but what was big, I guess, in my generation when I was the age, in the 90s and then 2000s. Well, Limited 2 was like huge for
teenage kind of fashion retailer, right?
Like even before teenage. So I would say like preteen, and then early 2000s, it was like Hollister.
Okay.
So Hollister became a big like that surf.
It's under Abercrombie, wasn't it? Hollister.
I think so. Yeah, I think.
I do want to say
and
that.
The hold please.
I know.
It was the jeans that the Hollister jeans were the ones that like I would never wear them now. They were
Stayed
like
very
the ones that
low.
were like so low rise,
Oh,
but
yeah.
there was
Oh, yeah.
no stretch. They were so tight.
Yeah.
And I think to myself, we used to wear those to school
Yeah.
for like 8 hours
Mhm.
at a time.
Mhm.
There was no give. You would sit down and your underwear would immediately sit
Well,
out
that
the
wasn't that
back.
the point because that was the thong. That's when the thong made the
Yeah.
its first premiere, I guess, was during that.
Appearance in day-to-day fashion.
Yeah, I mean, I
Not on a
will.
Brazilian beach.
I know I will remember that vividly.
Yeah.
My first thought was that girl's underwear is showing, but I
Yeah.
was like, oh, that's the whole point.
Yeah.
Okay. So anyway,
Never got on board with that.
so what were some of your favorite things to first go around with this?
I didn't really have any favorite things. I will say though that in the 90s, whenever the Delia's catalog would hit our mailbox, I was super
Ooh,
into that.
Delia's. I remember
Delia's?
Delia's. Yes. No, I
Delia's
do
is
remember
like
that.
Tell me more.
It was like teenage and like early 20 somethings fashion, and it was very grunge. It was like cute grunge. It was so like baby doll dresses,
Yeah.
kind of like the empire waist
Mhm.
dresses, and then chunky boots and chunky socks and
Yeah.
cool colored tights, and
Mhm.
it was a lot of that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Apparently that's coming back in fashion. Actually, Target seems to be kind of on the Delia's train
Oh,
at the
really?
moment. Yeah,
Yeah.
for their younger set.
Yeah.
But I was very much into vintage shopping all through the 90s and the 2000s, like the 2000s before 2010.
Mhm.
So yeah, I was mostly wearing like, old man sweaters and baggy pants and
Mhm.
trousers and
Did you have the Dr. Scholl's boots?
I had the Dr. Martin boots.
That's what I
Yeah,
meant. Thank you.
Dr. Martin.
That's what I meant.
Yes, I did. That was a very
Mhm.
big thing in
Mhm.
my generation. But flannel shirts and
Mhm.
the whole thing. I was very much into that. It was very it was I think it was a moment of like how like masculine dressing that was, you know, not flattering for women necessarily, but I think it was this moment in time where there was this kind of the girls could be just like the boys kind of attitude in music and in
Mhm.
Well, there was
in a
like
lot
a
of
goth
things.
situation too that what was that one store? My gosh, it was so
Still exists.
it still exists. And I remember kids at my school, in high school, they would specifically only shop there because they
Mhm.
were like the emo kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so they only dressed.
Topic.
Yes, Hot
Topic.
Topic.
Hot
Thank
Topic.
you.
Yeah. Just pull that out of.
That's
Yeah.
the thing.
But I remember because I dressed like I definitely was more like preppy clothes in high school. And then I kind of like veered more towards like the free people route as well, like later on, like in
Bohemian.
college.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bohemian. And
Mhm.
but yeah, the Hot Topic, I feel like I would go in that store and I like wanted to be like those emo kids, but I just knew that wasn't me deep
Mhm.
down.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It wasn't me.
I don't think I ever shopped at a Hot Topic. I think my group, when we would go to a mall, which was very rare, but when we would and we would see the kids at Hot Topic, we would make fun of them.
Oh, uh-huh.
Yeah.
To their face, but
They were kind of like the outcast.
yeah,
group,
and
but
like in a way that was just too funny to like not
Yeah.
say, not have
Oh.
jokes about. But no, in my time, it was like the second wave of punk rock. It was like California punk rock and
Mhm.
Bay Area punk rock, and so
that Gwen Stefani's band was really big, and
they were from LA,
right. What was it?
which
What
was
the name of
not that was not a Northern California thing at all. Let me
Oh,
be clear. We had
okay.
our Northern California, Berkeley, Green Day, like back in the early
Okay.
days. That was and we were very much like all you LA people, you
Okay.
just have your own thing.
You
down there.
SoCal people, stay out of NoCal
Yeah. But
attitude. Oh,
yeah,
okay.
it was a funny
No doubt.
moment.
That was the name
No
of it.
doubt.
No
Yeah.
doubt. Okay. Wow.
Yeah.
I can't believe it. I'm pulling things out.
You really are.
My RAM is working today.
I know. I can't believe you came up with Hot
Usually I'm like-
Topics.
Yeah, I know Hot Topic. Well, I think the boys night because didn't they sell posters and things like that?
Yeah.
They sold all sorts of
Yes,
things.
Fan t-shirts
Trinkets,
and
like,
yeah.
yeah.
We were going there because we would always stop in a Hot Topic, and
Yeah.
so it was like for a poster, yes,
Yeah.
T-shirts,
Mhm.
something like that. Yes,
Yeah.
I will mention. So originally, trends were supposed to go like every like my mom said, like maybe every 40 years, and then it was 20 years. So flannel shirts and dressing like men was very common when I was in high school in the 70s. So I used to drive my mother crazy with my flannel shirts. She was like, yeah, she was like, "Don't you want to wear this dress to school?" "No, mother, I do not."
When me and my
Wear this? "No, mom, I'm not going to."
when me and my best friend Noelle would go out, like when we were in our early 20s, and I mean, a flannel is a flannel. Like I feel like flannels never go out of style. But one of us, would inevitably be in a flannel, or someone would end up in a flannel. And then we'd always make a joke as we're like leaving their, apartment. I'm like, "You're the lesbian tonight." Which one of us is, or we'd be like, "Which one of us is the man?" "It's you. It's definitely you."
Yeah. It's funny how fashion stereotypes come into being, how they change over time.
I know. There was a particular pair of shoes that I wore that my mother called my lesbian shoes. And I was like,
were they Earth shoes?
No, they were like,
were they Birkenstocks?
They were like tie, like just like they had a square toe. They were tie shoes. They were black. They were like very generic, I thought.
Yeah.
I had a jacket that my mother
insisted every time I wore them. "Oh, you're wearing the lesbian shoes."
That's what I have, a denim jacket.
Okay, Mom, nothing against lesbians. We're
no.
What's that Jerry Seinfeld show? Not that there's anything wrong with that.
Not that there's anything wrong.
I have a denim jacket that my mom always calls my lesbian jacket, and I'm like, "This is a really cute denim jacket." I'm like, "Wait."
But my mom would also refer to like "Oh, that looks very slutty." My mom was very much that generation. So it was like, I couldn't have my ears pierced. I had to beg for that to occur because only the slutty girls did that.
Oh gosh, I think my mom got my ears pierced when I was 6 months old.
You were slutty.
Yeah.
I was slutty baby.
I was super young. You were slutty. Not that there's anything wrong with
a slutty baby in 1976.
My mom had ears pierced like all the way up when she was in high school, and when she got like the 5th piercing, she came home and my Nana said to her, "Did you join a cult?"
Oh.
Did you? And my mom was like, "No, Mom, like I just got my ears pierced."
No. Yeah, my mom's generation.
Well, I mean, we can say that trends come back a lot quicker than they used to, and that's true. But if you think about it, the 90s trends coming back, like I graduated high school in 94, it has 30 years.
Yeah.
Okay. Which is shocking to me. That I graduated high school 30 years ago.
It's 50.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Holy buckets. It's so crazy to think that it's been that long, but we are seeing those trends coming back in style, and the 2010s, definitely a lot of those trends are really coming back hard right now.
The 2010 trends, some of those I would like to see not come back.
Yeah, there's plenty of things that shouldn't.
Like I look back on, so 2010, I would have been like almost graduating college at that point in time. Like the little cocktail dresses, like some of those with the big bows on the front, things like that. I'm like
the baby doll.
Dresses. Yeah, the baby doll.
I'm not sure.
I think that's what
I feel like they were just like the little cocktail dresses that were maybe had like the bubble, which I don't mind the bubble. I don't mind that, but then it was like it'd have the big bow in the center, and then it'd be maybe a little roost right here with like a little single, spaghetti strap. Please, dear God, don't bring those back.
No,
they're terrible.
Yeah.
There are something.
Or like the big,
you don't want to see.
When I was in New York, when we would go out, because now it's like, you go out with your clutch or your smaller bag. We used to go out with these like massive Betsy Johnson bags. I mean, they were like huge. I'm like, what am I carrying this to the club for?
I know.
I'm like carrying a dead body in here.
Well, the funny thing about big bags is that, depending on what your day looks like, it's hard to go in places with large bags, like events or things like that. Like, you can't even carry a purse to the baseball stadium anymore. It has to be like a wallet size or clear, So I don't know. The world is training us to be, I guess, a little bit more thoughtful about our handbags, but
we needed to be because we were not thoughtful in 2010.
It is really funny how things like handbag size change
I know.
and shape and stuff like that.
I
Like,
know.
there's certainly, classic styles that, and the older I get, the more I just try to stick to classic things because I honestly don't want to. I would rather spend more money on one thing and have it last and look and feel great for a longer period of time than, spend that same amount of money on 5 things. Where when I was a young person, it was more about like, buying complete outfits. Now it's more just about buying pieces.
Yeah.
So my attitude has changed a lot, but
Mm-hmm.
I will say that one of the 2010s trends that is back that I actually really like is socks with heels.
Yes.
And I'm bringing this up today because
Do tell, Kelly. Do tell why
so
your love of
yeah.
socks and
Well,
shoes.
Okay, so there's a number of reasons to love
lives
this
on.
but it's fresh in my mind because though by the time this podcast airs, this will be like a 3-week-old issue.
Right.
It'll
be but a mere memory.
Yes. However, the
Bring up
photos
from
will
time to
live
time.
on forever, as well as the comments. I posted an outfit to the blog with a post about a holiday outfit, and I did wear some sheer trouser socks with some heels, and it was not well received on the blog. The majority of comments were not kind, though I don't take personally those comments. It doesn't really bother me. It's actually just more funny to me than anything else.
Yeah, it did not go over well.
It did not, but you know what?
Some
The
people
funny,
loved it though.
yeah,
Let's hear
and that it's a divisive trend, right? So
Yeah,
I think that the reasoning
trends typically
they
are.
do, yeah.
You're going to, they really can be very, very divisive because they're trends. They're here for a moment. Some people are going to love them and, wear the hell out of them. Some people are going to, pass altogether. But it is interesting. And we've touched on this before, how many times if you can't see yourself wearing it, you're not going to let anybody else wear it either.
Yeah. Yeah.
I also think that's a trend that you could pull off in a multitude of ways. So while some people commented and saying they might not like the version of socks and heels that you did, you could still wear those trouser socks with like a strappy heel and maybe they would like that better.
Yeah.
Like there's different options.
And that's the thing that I always wish, like, while I don't take comments and negative stuff personally, I think the thing that I do always come away with is just like, gosh, like of all the things to be steadfast and closed-minded to, like, why is fashion one of them? Like, it's like the most low stakes thing.
I know. I've always thought
It's a weird thing. And I actually just kind of feel bad for people who get hung up on stuff enough to.
But we do. And we also, I'll have this over, on inevitably on whatever social channel and I'll wear something because I don't necessarily wear my ballet flats when they're on trend, or I don't necessarily, pick my bag, the size of my bag based on what's currently trending. Or what really sticks out in my mind is I have this beautiful asymmetrical skirt from Ralph Lauren that I love, and I continue to wear it. And but so I just recently wore it when I was in New York, and people were like, "Oh, that is so
Not
so
in fashion.
dated, Scott. What basically like, what are you doing?" And I'm like, "Well, I personally happen to love it, and so I'm going to wear it." So in one regard, I'm trendless, but I do think it is a way to stay modern, fresh, and relevant, and I think that's very important.
Yeah.
Especially when you do wear classic style, because you can look, and I just shared this on a YouTube video. That's the danger of classic style and timeless items. You can start to look very stale and stodgy, and and out of date.
You need like something to spice it up.
Exactly.
Well, that's where embracing a trend comes in.
That's right. Like like the socks with your heels, and I think that that's very important, and that's what I wish like most women would really understand.
Yeah.
Like, and sometimes I want to be snarky sometimes when people are really really dissing the outfit. Like, how could you wear that? And I just want to come back and say, because it's fashion. It's fashion, and it's supposed to change. It's supposed to get us out of our box. It should be fun. It's like, oh my gosh, it's not going to be the end of the world if you even look back in 5 years and say, wow, well, what was I thinking? mean, at the time, obviously, if I'm wearing it,
time you thought you were
I
hot
was
stuff.
thinking, yeah.
I mean, I do look back
hot
on
stuff.
pictures, but you know what fashion trend I am so excited is making a comeback.
What?
Because Taylor Swift wore them recently. Skinny jeans. They're back.
Skinny jeans. I don't think
They were never not back for me, but I know that they like there was like a few years where it was like, oh, can't wear skinny jeans. And I'm like, how are you people wearing your high knee boots? Like,
I know.
if you're wearing jeans, what are you just shoving your wide leg pant in there? But I'm like, of course they would make a comeback when I'm pregnant. And I'm like, that's probably not. I mean, I guess you can get maternity jeans for that, but
you totally do that. That's one thing you could splurge on for your maternity.
I did just order my first pair of maternity jeans, so we'll see.
There you go.
Wow.
From J. Crew Factory, they were like $30. So I'm like,
wow.
I kind of guessed on the size. So I'm like, well, we'll do the cheap versions to start.
Probably a good bet because you won't wear them. I mean, you'll have a certain amount of time that you wear them, and then you can't wear them.
That's what I was like. We'll get like the $35 ones.
Make sure you save them because if you get pregnant with baby number 2, then you'll have some cute jeans.
There you go.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, ladies, what 2025 trends are you liking that, and it doesn't necessarily even have to harken back to the 90s and the aughts. But that really is kind of where fashion is going.
Yeah.
And one is really the straight leg jeans, or the mom jeans, whatever we want to call them. I like them way back in the day, and I like them today too. I think they're very flattering fit.
I feel like the mom jean thing is really more about the high rise rather than the
is it the rise?
Actual. Okay. I agree. I think because it's just more like they come up a little bit higher.
Yeah.
Which I do like. Unfortunately, I'm like, I can't do that right now, but no, I love a good high rise.
I think,
jean.
Especially as a petite person, high rise jeans are great because it elongates my lower half, which I appreciate. And I just like the way that they fit better. They just feel better. It feels better for somebody to hit at my natural waist than for something that's like cutting my gut in half.
Right.
Like that does not feel good.
The only thing I feel like you have to be careful because I do feel like the high waist jeans, and this is where it comes in just trying them on in the dressing room, is some of them at least I don't really have a big badonkadonk.
Yeah.
And some of them just make my butt look so flat. But then some of them, like Madewell does a really good job. Like there's some that like fit really nicely. So I think you just have to
try them on
because it's like, okay, yeah, I'm like, I love that my legs look longer, but then you look behind and you're like, I have no butt.
I've come to terms with the fact that I have no butt because it's been told to me and I've been reminded of it my entire life. So
I have one. I have a booty, and there's lots of issues with that too. So the booty sometimes is like, oh, I wish I didn't. But anyway, I think we always tend to want what we don't have.
That's true.
The grass is greener, not. But okay, so what are some of the trends that you're liking this year in 2025?
Well, I clearly I like socks with heels.
Clearly.
So, in fact, it was hilarious.
Others do not.
Well, it was hilarious because as I was fielding the comments for that post, what should arrive at my door, but a package from J. Crew that was full of sheer trouser socks to wear with heels.
Where's more skirts?
Exactly.
Oh my gosh.
I was like, just double down, give me more.
Double.
That's so funny
for it.
Yeah. Okay.
But I think more than shapes and silhouettes, I'm really excited about color for 2025. And I have been actually in 2024 too. I'm very much turned on by so much color and so many colors that I always felt like in one way or another, they're kind of always on trend, but they never are here with us in a big way that we can actually kind of maximize. Like looks like red has been a really big one. And I personally have always kind of steered away from like bold red, like red pants. I would have never done like 4 years ago. This year I have 2 pairs of red pants and I actually love wearing them.
It's such a great color. And I think if you do have some hesitation about wearing red next to your face, I think that's a great option.
Yeah.
Is
pants.
Pants.
Pants or a skirt, or even shoes. Shoes are a great way to break into that.
Hello. I have been saying like my whole life, every woman should wear or shouldn't, well, they should wear them, but they should own one pair of red shoes. They are the funnest
Yeah.
shoes. They just have
Mhm.
so much personality and pizzazz. So
Yeah.
yeah.
It's
Yeah.
a lot of fun. And the other thing that I don't know, I mean the trends that we're talking about I think are carrying over 2024 and 2025 since we never really get like this clear break, but
Right.
the barrel leg jeans, and
Mhm.
I don't care what anybody says about how they look on petites, they are comfortable, and I really, really,
I've
I've
really
come
like them.
around
They
to
look
them.
really cool.
Yeah, I was really against them at
I
first
was
because I was
too.
really trying on the wrong cut for me. Like I finally found a pair after I think I probably tried maybe 5 or 6 different
Mhm.
brands versions.
Mhm.
And then I found a petite version from Madewell
Mhm.
that I really love. They're super comfortable.
Mhm.
And I went to Tybee Island for a weekend out and I wore those pants the entire weekend.
Mhm.
Because I was like, it's cold outside,
I
it's
know.
windy. I'm
Yes.
wearing these barrel leg jeans with, boots and
Yeah.
sneakers and whatever, and they're just comfortable.
You look super cute in them, and actually, that was a very popular item that we sold on the
Mhm.
blog.
I was
So it
surprised. I was
I
surprised.
know. I was too, because that could have gone the way of your
My socks and
your socks
heels.
and heels.
Just
Mhm.
wait till
And
I wear my barrel leg jeans with socks and heels.
I know. Well, I cannot wait
Oh gosh.
Coming for
for
you.
that. But yes,
That's so funny.
I've liked barrel jeans. They've been around for a while,
They
but they
have.
really seem to be coming into their own
Yeah.
this particular year. But I also think too it takes a few years for people to wrap their head around it.
Well,
And I do think that more people have decided that
Mhm.
they're gonna give it a try, because I have a pair. They're not barrel. Well, I'll take that back. I had a pair of white jeans. I didn't wear them that often from
I really like
Lauren.
those. Yeah.
Hmm.
I think the thing too with any trend like barrel leg jeans or when you're introducing a new silhouette
Mhm.
of something that everybody already has and loves in many different silhouettes.
Mhm.
So barrel leg jeans. I think it took a while for it to catch on
did.
with the retailers though too. So like when you're
They weren't pushing it that much.
exactly. So it's only available at a couple places, a couple things. Like you don't really have that many options to choose from. But once the retailers start to see, like, okay, this trend is going to take off, we need to
Mhm.
start producing this certain thing.
Mhm.
Then it's available at it runs the
Mhm.
gamut from like super expensive brands
Mhm.
to like Gap and lower
Mhm.
Yeah.
lower price points, which makes it more egalitarian. So then more people can try the trend, more people can
Get
Mhm.
used to it.
get used to it. So I think that really helps in a big way
I
to
think trends,
bring something.
it's like something like that. I think you do have to kind of get used to it a little bit because you're not used to
Yes.
seeing jeans like that.
Yes.
So
That was a problem. Like, I think I purchased my first pair like 4 years ago and really got slammed.
Yeah.
yeah,
Slammed big time. Big
Well,
time. So then I was just
you were too ahead of your time.
too ahead of my it's other things.
Exactly. And there's a price to pay for being a trendsetter.
Mm-hmm.
There is
You just kind of have to wait for it to catch
the
up.
good and the bad.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
I agree about that. So what about corset tops? Because that is definitely trending the past couple of years. What do you think about that?
This is one of those trends
I'm
from
not like a
the
huge
90s, and
corset.
Mhm.
I will not go there.
You're not
Like
gonna go
I
there?
think corset tops, I would probably wear them when I was like in my early 20s. It's not something that I'm gonna wear now.
Mhm.
They're just not comfortable
Yeah.
to me. So why am I gonna wear something that's not comfortable?
Right.
Right.
Because I'm already a tiny person. I don't need something to suck me in even more.
Right.
And it's like that's something that I would probably wear if I was going out to a bar or to a club. And I don't go out to many bars or clubs anymore.
Right.
Yeah. I don't know. I didn't like it when it came around the first time. I didn't like it when Madonna did it in her Like a Virgin video in the 80s. I've never really been on board with this. The only way that I am on board with corsetry is if it's, you know, 1785 and I'm,
Yeah.
Mhm.
needing to wear one or having to wear one. Like
Mhm.
I'm just not.
Yeah. I just don't understand why you would like choose to wear one.
Maybe for Halloween.
Yeah, costume.
Yeah, costume. I could see that.
Mhm.
Well, Taylor Swift has embraced that trend.
Well, she's a young lady though.
She
and
is.
I'm practically 50. And I'm just not into it.
You're not gonna do that.
Not going to do it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't necessarily wear a corset top, but I do like the
Like the silhouette of.
yes, I do like the silhouette. I don't like the
Yeah.
bending and like,
I agree.
sucking you in and, pushing your boobs up. I don't like that aspect of it. But I do like there have been some really beautiful vests that
I have a top
been-
from Free People that is in the shape of what a corset top would be, but it doesn't have
Yeah.
the boning.
Well, this is a different animal altogether. Because like the strapless, the strapless button in the back type tops, this is totally different. And those are really coming back in a big way with the whole vest, wearing a vest as a top thing being so popular.
I just rewatched the Thomas Crown Affair, and so she had a beautiful, strapless dress, but she had the blouse under, or she wore the blouse and then had the strapless dress on top of it, which is also making it a big resurgence as well.
Yeah.
And I think that movie was like 1999, I want to say.
Yeah, I can't remember when that came out, but that
What a
look,
beautiful
I
work.
feel like that look of like having a white Oxford shirt with a ball gown, strapless ball gown over it. That I feel like has been a classic.
It's beautiful.
Ever. And I think it does take a lot from the fashion of the 18th century specifically, because there was so much layering, right? And they had their underclothes, and then they had the corset, and then they had the jacket. Like, so that, it has a historical, it has a historical place, but it's one of those things that like the reinterpretation of it as actually a wearable thing, seeing that come back. And I think stuff like that, I think is great, but like just straight up corset tops is a whole other thing.
I agree.
I wouldn't get those, but yes, but I do like the strapless vests, and I like the strapless tops, and I love to put a blazer over it. I recently at a wedding, and I had so many compliments about this outfit. So it was a strapless vest. I had the matching blazer, flare pants.
Yeah.
Received so many compliments on it, and it was beautiful, beautiful look. And then I do want to take that vest and then put a blouse underneath it.
Well, I mean, it's such if you're interested in classic style and you want to have, a suiting look, it's a really great way to feminize a more menswear inspired ensemble, which I think is a lot of fun. I like to subvert that. And this ties back into the trouser socks with heels, because I actually think that that's a really good way.
She's tripling down.
I am, guys. I'm like triple dog daring myself right now. I think because one of the things that I have always really liked about the idea of this look, and it's the same thing with like putting really feminine looking socks with like loafers or menswear inspired footwear. Like, I love the softening and the juxtaposition between something feminine like a sheer nylon like trouser sock. It has kind of this feminine appeal, but it also feels a little bit casual, but it also feels, a little bit edgy. Like there's a lot of things going on there. Yeah.
It is. And I've always loved to borrow from the boys. And
yeah, me too.
And I think it's a beautiful, as you said, beautiful juxtaposition, and it really does work very, very well.
Yeah.
So, well, what about cargo pants? So cargo pants are supposed to be coming back, but I have to say, I always seem to have a pair of cargo pants on hand.
Yeah. So
So I kind of think that I don't know.
I've always been a fan of cargo pants.
Yeah. I never was until this current moment. And I'll tell you, I think that, and I've talked about this on the blog a lot, because I think that this new iteration of cargo pants, they're more streamlined. They've figured out how to design the pockets in a way that don't feel like you're carrying pouches of, stuff on the sides of your legs.
I would agree with that.
They've refined them in a way that it not only feels current, but it feels even more utilitarian than the old version. And I feel like you can dress them up and dress them down really easily now. Whereas like the original version of cargo pants, I don't really feel like you could dress those up in a way that made sense for a practical day to day. Like, I think we probably saw Carrie Bradshaw do it on Sex and the City with like Manolo Blahniks and like cargo.
Right. Yeah. Probably had trouser socks on.
She probably also had a corset top on at the same time.
She probably did. And this is why when anyone has shitty things to say about what we're wearing on the blog, I'm like, okay, don't we all love Sex and the City for her crazy ass fashion? And also,
but that's different.
Emily in Paris.
Oh my God.
Fashion is insane. Really? But it's so wonderful, right?
Yeah, it's over the top, but
if we're talking about practicality, like I think this new wave of cargo pants, whether it's jeans or pants, whatever it is, I think it's way more wearable than it ever was before, and I'm totally on board with it.
Yeah.
Well, I love them, and I have a pair of Ralph Lauren. They're black, actually, cargo pants, and I bought them last summer, and just wore the bejeebers out of them then, and then this summer
Bejeebers?
too. The bejeebers.
Yeah.
That's an old one. Maybe we can bring that into on trend again.
Yeah.
Bejeebers.
Trendsetters over here.
That's right. Okay, what about the mini shoulder bag? 'Cause that's actually the smaller hand.
I like them.
I do too.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, I mean, as long as they're not, the only thing that I don't love is when they get like the mini, like,
Yeah,
I
if
guess
it
they're
can't
not.
fit your phone, then it's
I know.
pointless.
I'm like, why are we carrying this around? But an over the shoulder, like smaller structured bag,
Mhm.
I actually really like and I think is cute.
Yeah.
Okay. I like them too. I think it's very feminine.
Yeah.
It's very nice.
Yeah.
And it's just a very beautiful silhouette.
Mhm.
So yes.
And I think that they work, like those type of bags you could make work for daytime or evening. I think you could like dress it up or down, which is great.
Yeah.
And personally, I love, because I'm not a huge bag person to begin with. Like I just never have been. I'm definitely more like I love jackets and coats, so that's kind of my thing.
Yeah.
But so I love a bag that can be easily transitioned from day to evening.
Yeah. You want something that's utilitarian.
Exactly.
But that still looks good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So
You don't have to switch out.
yeah.
I actually, one of the trends I'm really loving right now is the resurgence of the hobo shape.
Yes.
So, but scaled down to like a mini.
Yeah.
So I just recently got the mini bag from Madewell, and it's a hobo shaped bag, but it's small.
Yeah.
So, like it can be a clutch in the evening. It can be a shoulder bag.
Yeah.
It's not so big, but it's just big enough. And but it has that really like, hobo shape that has kind of a, how do you describe it? It's kind of it's a loosely structured bag, but it has like a nice round from where the shoulder strap is to where the bag zipper is. It's this really nice round or oval shape that is kind of signature of that. But I really like those bags. Yeah.
I do. I've always been a big fan of hobo bags. They're like a dressed up casual bag.
Yes. Yeah.
That's how I think of hobo bags. But I think it's a very classic silhouette, and it typically can hold a lot of things, items.
Yeah.
Near.
Because I think that the shape of the bag itself makes it so that it can hold more than you think it can. So even if it's small in
like
size,
the Mary Poppins bag.
yeah,
Pretty much.
still you can put all your stuff in there.
Okay, so here's something. So this is not necessarily fashion, but I mean, makeup and eyebrows go in and out of trends too. And so thin eyebrows.
Are those making a comeback?
Let's never let that make a comeback ever
never.
again.
Eyebrows and dare I say no eyebrows?
No.
The no eyebrow.
No.
Look.
The bleaching your eyebrows. Yeah.
No.
It's happening.
I have heard that the thin eyebrows, because there's a few people on TikTok that I follow that are like younger, like 23, 24, and they keep commenting like, oh, I feel like I should like thin out my eyebrows. And I'm like, and all of the millennials are commenting like, do not do this. They're like, trust me. They're like, trust me, we have been there and my eyebrows are not the same.
Oh, they're not.
And I mean, my eyebrows are like fine. And they like, I feel like I have decent eyebrows. I mean, I fill them in a little bit, but yeah, I mean, I know that some people have been really just, they have not grown their eyebrows back since they've done that.
My sister had to get microblading to like deal with the past.
Yeah, but I never thinned mine out that much. Like when I would go to get my nails done, they always ask you, "Oh, do you want your eyebrows done?" And I'd always be like, "No."
Thank you.
Because I'd see their eyebrows and I'm like, "You don't have any eyebrows."
Not selling it here.
Well, I do have like, because you get the stray hairs places. So I do have that done. And I'll have my esthetician do it. Although the past couple of times it's basically like burn my
with
lids. Yeah, the wax has been too hot.
That's why I do the sugaring.
Oh.
What's that?
It's like similar to wax, but it's a little bit less abrasive on your skin.
Not so hot.
Yeah, but I don't do it very often. I need to go and get them done, but I maybe go like twice a year.
Okay. To get that done.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, it's yes, thinner eyebrows are in, and then the no eyebrow look, which I'm sorry, just looks weird.
Yeah,
I don't care.
It's hard to get.
So I guess I will be judgy. Kelly, don't come on the blog with no eyebrows.
I think even if I tried to bleach these caterpillars, I would have a problem. Like
No,
there's no.
no, I just think our eyebrows are an important factor to frame our face.
The only time I could see bleached,
That's why I just think that they just
yeah,
because I'm like when I
There's something off.
like for a fashion shoot, like
Mhm.
okay, I could
Yeah,
see that.
I mean,
But then they always bleach them back, you know.
yeah, I get it, but yes, so brows are
Yeah, me
that's
too.
what's happening there. And what about capris?
Oh, I'm down. Yeah.
Are you down for capris?
Yeah, for sure. I think
So would you get the capris that like just graze your kneecap, or would you
No.
actually get
Well,
mid
Like the
calf?
what are those
I
called?
said no, but I actually
The
have a
clam
pair.
diggers or what are they?
Yeah,
Clam
clam
diggers.
diggers.
Yeah.
That's what they used to call them when I was a young girl.
Mhm.
Or pedal pushers.
Pedal
I
pushers.
don't mind the
Pedal
capris.
pushers.
Do not bring back those gaucho pants though.
Oh,
But
those are
They're
back.
back too.
no.
Yeah.
Yes, those
Yeah.
are back.
Well, I will not be
They're
wearing
back, baby.
I will not be partaking the gaucho. I don't mind capris if they are in like a dressed up sense.
Yeah.
Or like even a cute little day outfit. I don't like capri leggings, like workout leggings. Absolutely not.
No.
Like that looks so weird to me.
That would be like uncomfortable almost.
But
I would think
Lululemon
it's at your knee,
like
right.
Lululemon makes them though. Like I feel like
I think it's a thing. I mean, I think leggings come in all lengths.
well, people say that they wear them because their legs get hot. So I'm like, so your calf isn't getting hot?
I know. So wear shorts or something.
Wear shorts.
I don't know.
I'm a full length or bike short kind of person.
Yeah.
So
Full leggings when I go work out.
Yeah.
you know,
Or shorts to Orange Theory. I don't
Yeah.
do anything else. Or when I ride my spin bike, I'll do that to shorts there too. But
yeah, I did not think that the right below the knee capris were going to be my thing at all. And then J. Crew came out with a pair last summer.
Yeah.
That were made of the same suiting material as a blazer that I have.
Mhm.
And so I took a chance and got them and wore the blazer with a blouse and then those and heels. And I thought, this is really cute. And it is very Carrie Bradshaw-ish,
Yeah.
actually.
They are. I actually like them. I don't like the capris that you can get like I mean, I think you have to be very careful what brand you're going to choose, because I do think they need to be fashion forward capris,
I think what
not
Chelsea,
the fuddy duddy.
I think Chelsea's point was that if they're dressed up, like
Yes.
the length of the capri, like the
And the
acceptability of the length of
and
the
the
capri has to
and
do
the
with
brand
it.
and all.
Yeah.
Yes, I think they're just you have to be very specific.
Yeah.
Because there are a lot of readers that have come over and said, "Oh, yay, capris are back," but I'm like, okay, hello.
Well, slow your roll.
Yes, so let's slow down here. If they're fashion forward, I'm like on board because they look really cool and chic.
Yeah.
But not just you. You just can't just
No.
you can't just pull one out of your drawer from 20 years ago, and that's just.
I think those are also something that you maybe just like have to try on too. And I also think it maybe just depends on your body type, because maybe what looks good on someone might not look good on you.
Yeah,
or
exactly.
vice versa. So
Yeah,
exactly.
But trying on is important.
I don't have a pair of capris, but
I don't either actually.
I do like them. And
But I'm not against them. Like something like you mentioned with the J. Crew capris, and then like I would do that.
Well, I'm thinking they'd be like super cute for like vacation. You go to the beach, then for an evening out, you get some like fun, sexy heels.
I don't think I would do jean capris though.
Oh no,
like a jean capri, like that's
what I'm saying. It really has to be. It has.
Well, they did exist, but
well, I mean, I'm also not a fan of jeggings, and I feel like denim capris is probably, in my opinion, like it's in there with jeggings as far as like just don't do it.
Wow.
Yeah, I agree on that.
Yeah.
How about fur coats or
I love fur coats.
Faux fur coats, because I think fur coats probably are still very controversial.
I've never
well,
I mean, I've never owned an actual real fur coat, but I have a few faux fur coats that I love.
I have a couple faux. I also have a couple real because they were passed down from great grandmothers. So I do have a couple of real fur coats, and I love them. Though I don't, I have to be very picky and choosy on where I will wear them because I don't want anything to happen to them, and I know that fur is still I don't think people are throwing paint on anyone anymore,
No,
though.
I was looking at the photo of Carrie Bradshaw in her
Yeah.
fur coat, and I just remember, I think it was Samantha
Samantha
at Fashion Week, and somebody threw
Oh, yeah.
her.
Yeah.
But Carrie Bradshaw used to wear a lot of fur coats.
Hers were all faux,
Well, it says
weren't they?
no.
Oh,
Right here it
really?
says
That big fluffy one wasn't faux.
that's what it says.
Huh.
It says it was real, but I do have my mom's mink coat, full length mink coat. When we lived in Minnesota, I mean, I would wear it to the grocery store because it
Yeah.
was
Well,
so
that's just
warm.
practical. Yeah.
It was very practical, and nobody ever gave me any shit. But when I first started blogging, so I had one of the things that I have of my dad's was it was a fur vest. So it used to zip into one of his like bomber jackets, but then I kept it.
Yeah.
So I still have that, and I used to wear it like all the time when I first started blogging. And boy, oh boy, I mean, I should have just lied and said it was faux fur, but I came out and said this was my dad's, fur vest, and so I packed that away.
Yeah.
I mean, I still wear it, but not on the blog.
Yeah.
Like, this is my dad's, I'm gonna keep it. And
Yeah.
I love it. And I still have my mom's.
Well, also fur is, I mean, it's more of a practical use. I mean, I understand why people wore fur. I mean, and wear it.
It's so warm.
Yeah.
I think too that there's been there was a huge backlash against new fur, and there probably still is, but I think that there's quite a different thing when you're buying vintage. So like there's there's this whole other upcycling aspect of fur that like, okay, this thing exists. The damage was already done. You can't undo it. It's a coat. I'm going to buy it. It's, a vintage thing or whatever. So I think that there's an acceptance of that more readily now than there used to be, maybe.
You would think there would be more of an acceptance of that than the fast fashion faux fur.
Yeah. Well, I think
like something that you would get from Forever 21. That's just they're
I actually don't think that there is. I think that the tides have. I'd like to think this. I'm not totally sure if this is true or not. I haven't read anything about it, but just in terms of like how people talk about things, the whole idea of upcycling and thrifting and making the most out of what we already have is so much more popular than the fast fashion thing.
Exactly.
They just can't convince enough people to stop buying Zara that,
I know.
So
I know.
I mean, I do love Zara. I'm not going to lie.
Well,
I don't buy them all the time, but
no, they're very on trend. I mean, if you really do want to pay attention to trends, all you have to do
they
is
have
Zara.
Yeah.
But I don't think their clothes fit all that well. I think they're very.
You have to go into the store. They're not something that I would buy online.
You definitely have to go into the store, but still, I think it's a brand that's very tricky to wear.
Yeah,
it is.
I mean, at the end of the day, and so many people love it, and I'm like, okay, so walk me through why you love it, because their sizing is not very realistic.
Yeah,
I think for most people.
Yeah,
I think it's loved because it is cheaper.
It is.
And they do have cute, maybe like workwear that typically would cost an arm and a leg for someone. And I think that's what it is especially, people that are my age or younger. It's like, okay, well, I'm not going to spend an exorbitant amount of money on this. Like, I wish I could, but it's like, if I need workwear,
right,
or like just a cute going out outfit. But I will say their sizing is very tricky, and it's like hit or miss, and you do have to kind of go in and actually try it on. And I don't like going into the Zara store, I'll be honest.
No.
I think there's only one. Well, there might be one at Lenox. In Atlanta, there's one at the Perimeter Mall, and it's always packed.
Yes.
The line is always like out the door, unless you're going on like a Monday morning.
Yeah.
So I hate going into the store. Unless I like find a Zara, like I'm in another country, but it's like, why I'm not going to go into a Zara in another country.
Well, actually, my only experience in a Zara store was in Shanghai.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and then they opened one in San Francisco on Powell Street. It was like a multi-level, really big deal when it opened there, because it was kind of like a flagship type store. And I think I might have like walked in the front door and then just turned around and walked.
It can be like super overwhelming, especially if it's multi-level.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
The one in Perimeter is not multi-level. It's just like one level, but
in San Francisco, they have it at the Westfield Mall, and I worked at Bloomie's, so I would go. I mean, like over my lunch hour, I would go visit all the all the other stores, and it was always packed.
Yeah.
Always packed.
It's just like
it's
cheaper, and that's why.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I mean, but very fashion forward.
That's the other,
and I did appreciate. I mean, if I appreciate anything, it's that, so you can actually go in there and get a really good feel of what is trending, and they always have an eye to the luxury brands, but then bring it
dupes and stuff, kind of.
Into
Although I feel like here lately they've been getting a little bit pricier. So then it's almost like you might as well just go to Anthropologie or Madewell and shop the sale and get the same, get a better quality item for the same price.
Yeah,
I agree.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's take a look at one more trend before we wrap this segment up. So what about bike shorts? Because bike shorts are back. And Princess Diana, boy, she rocked those bike shorts, and she would like put a oversized sweatshirt with it and then wear her.
I like bike shorts.
I like them I wear them for working out and working in the yard in the summertime.
Okay, working out and working in the yard. Okay.
I don't mind like a Princess Diana look of the sweatshirt. I think the only thing that I will say is bike shorts, when I wear them. So I think I have like 2 pairs, like one's a Lululemon pair and then one's like a Beyond Yoga. And anytime I wear them, and this is maybe just me with any pair of shorts, but specifically bike shorts, especially if they're black, I have got to have some sort of self tanner on, because if my legs are white, I just put them on. I'll literally put them on, and then I'll go stand in front of the mirror, and I'm like, immediately no. I'm like, let me take these bike shorts off right now. I'm like, these look horrendous.
But they look better if you have a tan, right?
Yeah, if I have a tan, then I'm like, these are great.
Somehow makes a difference. Well, I actually have the problem where I do spend a lot of time working in the yard in the spring and summer, and I'm pretty much exclusively wearing bike shorts. And so I have to deal the rest of the summer with having the stupidest leg tan of all time. Bike short.
I don't have that problem.
Yeah, bike short tan's awful.
Well, I can't say that I would be wearing bike shorts out for an evening, but I do own, I think, like 2 for
not for an evening. This is like a Target run. You're going to Target, you're picking up,
I could do that, and I would just be like, I would take the Princess Diana route, and I would put an oversized sweatshirt on, and
I mean, I think I've gone to Publix in my
no one needs to be wearing bike shorts out.
No,
we don't need to do that.
I don't think so. Well, especially at 66. There are very few things that I put an age limit on, but perhaps it might be bike shorts.
You know what?
Evening. I don't know. Maybe I'd put the kibosh on Chelsea at 35 and you at 48.
I'll wear them if I have tan legs.
That's right. I forgot. Okay, ladies, anything else we want to say about trends? It's always fun to take a look.
Yes.
I mean, this is our job. We do pay a lot of attention to what's going on in the fashion world, and I do think it's such an easy way to stay modern, fresh, and relevant. So I will encourage every woman of every age to keep one eye out for the trends. You don't have to incorporate everything. My rule of thumb is, just maybe get 1 or 2 trends and then add it into your wardrobe. And then it's
for sure
kind of play it safe.
Totally baby step it.
Yeah.
Baby step, don't have to go crazy.
It's very fun to see it. It's very fun to see what was trending 20 years ago, 40 years ago, 200 years ago, like with the corsets, and then, and because what goes around comes around, and that's the same for fashion.
Yeah,
for sure.
All right, ladies. Well, we are wrapping up this segment. We're going to take a quick break, and we will be back. Be back with New and Noteworthy. And we're back with my favorite segment, which is New and Noteworthy. So Kelly, Chelsea, and I just gather together what has struck our fancy in any particular week. And so it could be a book, it could be a product, it could be, I mean, we've run the gamut here. It could be a home accessory, it could be furniture. I mean, it could be whatever we think needs to be shared. So this week I'm going to kick it off with Chelsea. So what's on your radar screen this week?
I have a movie, and it's actually a holiday movie. So when this airs, we're not going to be into the holidays, but something to still maybe watch or to keep on the back burner for the following year, because I think this movie in particular might be a yearly like rewatchable holiday movie for me and Andrew. But it's Klaus or Claus probably, and it's on Netflix. And I think it came out in like 2019 is when it first came out, but it's an animated movie, and basically it's about this mailman, like this post office worker that is like his dad owns the whole, post office wherever they live, and he sends him off because he's being like this spoiled, I want to say kid, but I mean, he's like basically a grown man at this point in time. And his dad's like, well, you're going to go off to the middle of nowhere. And then, essentially the rest of it's like the story of, not necessarily a story of Christmas, but I guess what Christmas spirit is, and then how he came to find that. So it's actually really sweet. It's a really cute animated movie. I think it's something that you could watch if you have kids, or even if you don't have kids. I think it's one of those animated movies, and I feel like a lot of animated movies are like this, but that if you watch with the kids, they're going to really enjoy it because of the animation. But then there's like some funny adult humor that they're not going to pick up on that you would. But yeah.
Yes. Well, I recently watched that.
Oh, did you?
You and Andrew
yeah
did that. And so I did watch that, and it's very sweet. And I
it makes you cry in some parts.
It's very sweet.
Yeah.
It's just very touching and sweet. And I'm not typically an animated movie watcher.
I'm not either.
But every once in a while, one will come on. And I thought it was very, very
sweet.
So yes, good recommendation. So
nice.
Okay, Kelly, what's on deck with you?
Well, I have a TV show.
TV show for Kelly.
TV show. Shocker.
Big time shock. Oscar even agrees.
Oscar off camera. He's snoozing over in the corner over here.
Okay, so this is a Paramount+ show. It's called The Agency. It's a spy show. I don't know if you guys have seen this yet. It's based on the French series The Bureau. But this is starring Michael Fassbender, who I absolutely love, as the main character. But it also has Richard Gere, which is amazing. Jeffrey Wright.
Okay.
Wow.
Katherine Waterston and Jodie Turner-Smith, who I just saw in a show called Bad Monkey, and I really liked her in that. So she's back in this in a very different role, but she's just as beautiful as ever. There's also, so far, the series is still ongoing, so I haven't made it to the end of it yet. But there's a cameo by Dominic West, who is another one of my favorite British actors, and he apparently the French version of this show, The Bureau, there's characters that pop in and you don't really see them again, but they play a major role down the road. So with peppering in these really famous people into these, like, one scene moments in an episode, I'm thinking, okay, Dominic West is going to come back in some big way later on. So it's actually it's kind of fun. It's almost like these famous guys are like Easter eggs almost. When they're on the screen, it's like, wow, this is amazing, and you're not quite sure like how much of a role they'll play, but anyway, it's a great show, and Michael Fassbender is
okay. Right. It's on my list.
Yeah.
My ever expanding list of shows to binge watch this winter. So I don't know if I'll get them all in, but
yeah. Well, it's a good one.
Okay.
I think you'll like it.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
So I'm going to share a product. So I happen to own several glasses so it's from La Roche. I don't know if I'm saying it correctly, but it's a French brand. So they are the Napoleon B glasses. And so I have them I have water glass. I have them in just a regular, I have the champagne glass, and then
Goblet, wine goblets.
The goblets, and then you had purchased the shot glasses I absolutely love. But I think my favorite is the champagne flute. So it's just really beautiful, and it is the beginning of the year. New Year's Eve has passed, but it's just a really great champagne flute to have on hand, and they're so substantial. That's what I love about these glasses. They're practically unbreakable.
Yeah.
They're so substantial, have beautiful weight to them, and they come in, as I said, different silhouettes, different styles. And so I just thought I would just share that, because I was just recently so I have a little like pantry downstairs, and that was just reorganized, and I was just struck by my love of glasses because I have
A
quite a
lot.
few quite a few glasses. So, but I think this is head and shoulders above all the others as far as my favorites.
I think what's so cool about those is that the champagne flutes are like they're like stemless champagne flutes. So it's like it's an inverted yeah, so or conical shape. So it like the entirety of the glass makes up the, the stem. So yeah, they're super substantial. You don't feel like you're gonna they're not so breakable.
Right. I love
Yeah.
them. Yeah. But the little shot glasses are super cute too. So all right, ladies. Well, that wraps up another episode of Message for Mom, where we're busting the myth that mothers-in-law aren't necessarily monsters-in-law.